Well, that looks kind of whacked out. Is it because of where the score sheet is? No, that actually looks pretty good. Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Spokane Steve here with another game of the 1966 full season replay played on Strat-O-Matic baseball. We're moving on to June 23rd. That was a Thursday. And just as the 22nd was a heavy schedule, the 23rd is a much lighter schedule. Looks like we're finishing up some of those 4-game series or some of the 3-game series that for some reason started on Tuesday. And there goes my crowd noise, and it's back. Weird stuff. Okay. It is, hello Kenyon, welcome, good to see you again. How are things going for you? So this is the 4th game of the 4-game series, which is the Cleveland Indians at the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox won 2 of the first 3. El Tiante for Cleveland. Tiant's second in the American League in ERA currently at 1.85. Who leads the league in ERA? Why, it's his teammate Sam McDowell, 1.75. Right-hander Lee Stang will get the start for Boston. Here comes the cat. Well, you can't have the dice. Well, he's just planted himself here, hasn't he? What? You can't eat that. Now he's trying to eat the score sheet. Mookie, you're going to have to get out of here. Look at that. He took a bite out of the corner. Well, not a bite out of it, but he tried to. I don't know, you can't really see that. He got some saliva on the upper left corner there. Good to hear, Kenyon. Hello there, Ernest. So let's check Stang's record here. Where is he? Here he is, 0-3, which isn't right. Okay, that's his record with Boston. 2-team player. With the Red Sox, he's 0-3, 4.76, 2 starts, 2 relief appearances. He's only worked 17 innings. Let's go and look at his full season numbers, which are 1-3, 3.79, 4 starts, 36 innings of work. So Stang has worked, although it doesn't show me the full breakdown, it looks like he's worked much more in relief so far than as a starter. This will be his 3rd start for Boston since coming over in the trade. And I don't even remember where he came from. Probably Kansas City. That's where everybody comes from, isn't it? No, I don't know that for a fact, but if you're going to take a guess, that'd be a good one. So Tiant and Stang. I got to give you some more of Tiant's numbers here, by the way. 82 2/3 inning, he's only surrendered 45 hits and struck out 76. 9 starts, 6 of them he completed, including 2 shutouts. He worked 5 games out of the pen and had a save. Just an incredible season for Tiant so far. And here's the Cleveland batting order. Vic Davalillo in center field leads things off. Leon Wagner is in left. Chico Simone at shortstop. Rocky Colavito will be in right field hitting cleanup. Big Fred Whitfield at first base. Max Alvis at third. Joe Askew, the catcher. Larry Brown at second with that 4.68. Yikes. He'll bat eighth. And Tiant, the pitcher, in the 9 spot. And I have waivers in a half hour for my ATG league. So I'm going to have to check on that. I only have 3 or 4 players listed. Hello, Joel Turney. Cleveland. Okay. Thank you, Ernest. Nice job on the research there. You know, I can't even remember what that trade was now. Of course, the bright side of all this is I can watch reruns and it feels like I'm seeing it for the first time. So there are some, there are some advantages to getting older. The umpires for today: Jim Honachek behind the plate, Frank Umon at first, Jerry Neudecker down at second, and Bill Kinnaman at third. With that, we are just about ready to play. I'm trying to think of who went from Boston to Cleveland, and I can't. Demeter. No. Demeter came to Boston. Earl Wilson also came to Boston. Anyway, not that important. Who knows? Ernest might dig it up. Hey, Jim Forbes, welcome in. We're just about ready to play ball here on a Saturday. 47 and overcast. Can't complain about that. We could see some snow here in the coming week. That seems kind of weird for the middle of February. All right, staying ready to go to work. Vic Davalillo will lead it off. Davalillo on the year. 255 average. 2 homers, 12 RBIs. Left-handed batter. Stan gets the sign. Here's the pitch. And here we go on a 4-10 lefty. Fly ball center field X. Tough chance for Demeter. Demeter on his horse, a 3E7. Still going back, and he's not going to get to that. That's going to roll to the wall. Davalillo out of the box in a hurry will cruise into second easily with a stand-up double. And we are underway on a lead-off double by Vic Davalillo. Cleveland, by the way, is the third-place team in the American League at 33 and 30. Boston is in 9th place at 28 and 38, ahead of only the Yankees. Absolutely, Rick, and hello, by the way. Of course I'm going to finish it, as long as I live long enough. Thank you, Ernest. That was the Radat steal, and Don McMahon, too. I'll put it this way, Rick. I'm going to keep playing as long as I can with the goal, inevitably, to finish it. And yes, let's see, I've been doing it now for what, 2+ years? I figured 5.5 years. So yeah, we're a little over 3 years at the current pace. Leon Wagner, the batter, leads the club in hitting at 326 for Leon. A dozen homers, 33 RBIs. Davalillo, his lead from second. Staying a look back. Wind up in the pitch on a 2-6. Grounds it to short. Petrocelli has it. Looks the runner back and throws him out. And of course, right on cue, there goes my voice. Mookie is settled down and is in the tower now. He knows when it's game time, and he hibernates for the most part. Not so great for the 7th inning stretch, but actually pretty good for the rest of the game. Chico Simone's, it's been a season-long struggle for Chico, hitting just 188. He does have 5 home runs. Stang gets the sign. 3-4 righty. He lifts it the other way to right field. Canigliaro there to make the catch, and the runner will hold. He might be able to tag up on that. It's a B question mark. Davila with great speed, 17-19. He's going to tag, and he'll make it. Well, no, you got to roll. He's only out on a 20. So Davila tags and goes to third on the fly ball by Simone. And here's Rocky Colavito now. Rocky hitting 286. That's second on the team. 13 homers, 32 RBIs. Runner at third, 2 down. Here's Stang's pitch. That is a 1-7 righty. Liner to third, single to 6, and it's speared by Foy. Ho ho! What a play by Foy to prevent the run from scoring. So no runs a hit, 1 left for the Indians. After half an inning of play, it's Cleveland 0, Boston coming to bat against El Tiante. And welcoming in Captain Carl. Hey there. How is your weekend so far? Here's the Red Sox lineup. It doesn't look that way, Rick. Kenyon, I think it was 10-1-23. So yeah, just under 2.5 years. Of course, I took over a full month off for the snowbird, so that throws the pace off a little bit. Here's the lineup for Boston. Rico Petrocelli leads off at short. Joe Foy at third. He made that fine play to end the top of the first. Carl Yastrzemski at his customary 3 spot in left field. Tony Canigliaro in right. George Scott, you can find at the top of the page under Who is Cold right now. Scott hits 5th at first base. Don Demeter gets the start in center field. George Smith at second. Mike Ryan to do the catching. And Stang hits last. Scott in the last 10 days is just 5 for 48. He does have a home run. That's a 104 average. And some good research there from Captain Carl, because I was wondering about what seemed to be a very one-sided trade. And now this makes perfect sense. It was more a case of Finley unloading Harrelson than wanting Duckworth. And back to Rick again. Yeah, that's all true. But I certainly didn't start the replay with the intention of not playing every game. And that is still my intention. Granted, it will be a while. Petrocelli leads it off for Boston. He comes in at 259, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs. Plus, I want to have full stats, right? El Tiante, the high herky-jerky motion. Here's the pitch on a 2-8. Grounder down to third, fielded by Alvis. Strong throw across in time. 2-8, a tweener there, right in the heart of Petrocelli's good column, but he grounds out to third for the first out, and here's Joe Foy. Foy batting .265, 9 home runs, 22 RBIs. Tion into the windup now. Here it comes. 5'10 righty. Third base X. Elvis again. Elvis at .321 to his left. 14 error range. It's a 3 on an E21, and that's off his glove for an error. So an error by Max Alvis allows Foy to reach. Foy no threat to steal, but of course we'll check the Cleveland battery anyway. Tiant with a very good hold, -3. Askew with a -2 arm behind the plate. So with a -5 battery for Cleveland, and Boston doesn't run much anyway. Up steps Carl Yastrzemski with one away. Yaz, the leading hitter on the club at .292. 13 home runs, 36 RBIs for Yaz. Tiant from the stretch. 2-9 right-handed. It's hard smash to first. Whitfield goes down to Simone for one. Back to first. 3-6-3 double play. That'll do it for the Red Sox in the first. And we are scoreless after one. That's right, we don't have a beer batter, do we? I don't believe Unmitigated has made an appearance yet today. Yeah, let's just say it's Scott for the we'll go with Scott. Unless he comes in and wants to change it, and that's okay with me too. Good point, Jim. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Stang takes the mound. Whitfield will lead it off for Cleveland. Fred Whitfield batting .258, his 16 home runs leads the team and is also among the major league leaders. And he leads the ball club with 47 RBIs. Stang gets his sign from Ryan. The pitch on a 6-7 lefty is a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Smith. Smith, a good second baseman, .228. Here's the play on a 17. He gobbles him up and throws him out. Nice play by Smith at second, one down. And here's Max Alvis. Alvis hitting just .210. He does have 11 home runs, 32 RBIs. So even at .210, Alvis has been pretty productive. As Stang goes into his windup. It's a 5-9 to Alvis. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Down goes Alvis on strikes. The Stang makes short work of Alvis, and the hitter will be Joe Askew. The catcher hitting just .209. 3 home runs, just 110 at-bats for Askew. I'm looking at the Cleveland catching situation. Crandall with 44 at-bats. So who did most of the catching? Sims with 74 at-bats. So of the 3 catchers, Askew has played the most. Here's the pitch on a 2-9 righty. Another tweener, rolled to second. Smith to Scott, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Stang. I saw something else about Harrelson here. I was going to read it. Ernest points out that Hawk was annoying in Boston, too. I'll say one thing. He was certainly annoying as an announcer, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I remember back in those days, I could hardly stand to watch the White Sox. And pretty much that's all we had. We had the Braves, of course, on, TBS? And then the Cubs and the White Sox. I watched a lot of Cubs. As I mentioned before, I was working graveyard shift at the time. So it was nice to catch a day game. Okay, bottom of the second. Here's Canigliaro to start things off for Boston. Tony C. hitting .242, 10 home runs, and a team leading 40 runs batted in. Here is the windup and the pitch. 3-10. That ball is absolutely crushed to dead center. Davalillo back at the wall. It's gone. Canigliaro to the deepest part of the ballpark goes yard. And Boston takes the early 1-0 lead for Canigliaro, his 11th home run of the season, and there was no doubt about it. Tiant, seemingly unfazed, rubs up a new ball as George Scott, the beer batter, steps in. Scott on the year, his average now down to .225, 14 home runs, which leads the club, and 35 RBIs. Tiant with the windup. Here's the pitch, 2-4 righty. He lifts it the other way to right field. Colavito settles under it and puts it away for the first out. That'll bring up the center fielder, Don Demeter. Demeter, 3 for 11 with Boston, a .273 average. Take a look at his overall numbers. On the season, Demeter is at .207, 2 homers, 14 RBIs. Here comes the pitch from El Tiante, 6-7 righty, just inside for a ball. And that's ball 4, and Demeter will take his base. Demeter no threat to run as George Smith comes to bat. Smith, the second baseman, hitting just .222. Excuse me. 5 home runs, 22 RBIs for Smith. Tiant now out of the stretch. 4-8 right-handed. Swung on and missed, strike 3. First K for Tiant. And with 2 away, it'll be up to Mike Ryan, the catcher. Ryan's actually been hitting better of late. He has his average all the way up to 192. Doesn't sound like much, but he was sitting around 170 not that long ago. No home runs, of course. And here's the pitch. 5-7 righty. That's going to be a base hit into right center. Triple to 3. Oh my, that's a leaner. That will be a reroll on the 20, and it will be a 2-star single for Ryan. Demeter all the way to third. So Ryan continues his hot-hitting ways. And with runners on the corners and 2 down, the batter will be the pitcher, Lee Stang. Stang, a right-handed hitter. Tiant trying to get out of the jam here. Fastball, 111, struck him out. He blew it right by him. And that'll end the inning. So the Sox strand 2, but they do score a run on the leadoff homer by Tony Canigliaro. And after 2 complete, they lead it 1-0. I was trying to see what the commotion was out back here. Something whizzed by in a hurry. Mookie's certainly paying close attention to it. Second baseman Larry Brown will lead off the third inning. Brown hitting .250, no home runs, just 2 RBIs, right-handed batter. Stang into the windup, here's the pitch. It's a 3-7, and he walks him. Brown works out the leadoff walk. No threat to steal. And here's Tiant and Abe under. Boston will bring the corners in, of course. Tiant now a B, squares to bunt. He lays it down on a 6B, bunts it to third base, play is to first, and Brown takes second on the sacrifice. So a good bunt by Louie. And here's Vic Davalillo. Opened the game with a double and was stranded. Stang, a glance at second. Here comes the pitch to Davalillo. It's a 1-6. Struck him out. Called strike 3. Davalillo not happy about it. But home plate umpire Jim Honachik says take a seat. It'll be up to Leon Wagner, who's been the Indians' best hitter this season. With the weak-hitting Simone on deck, it's tempting, but it's too early in the game to be walking people. They're going to pitch to him. Stang into the windup. Pitch to Wagner on a 6-8 lefty. Liner right at Smith at second, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So the Indians leave a runner at second. Then we go to the bottom of the third. The score remains the same. Welcome, Bill. So apparently I'm not the only one who didn't like Harrelson as an announcer. Oh, heck yeah. And he was old then. After the last time he pitched, I got on YouTube and was looking for... No, actually, it wasn't that. It was in Morro Bay when my buddy Eric came up. For some reason, we were talking about Tiant and his windup. And he didn't have as much herky-jerky in 75. So I was able to find some older footage when he practically turned around facing the outfield before delivering. So apparently by 75, he had toned that down quite a bit. Or possibly that was just for the World Series. I don't know. Or it also could have been because there were runners on base. I don't remember the clips exactly. And there's our resident lobster lover, Franklin Long. Top of the order for Boston in the bottom of the third. Here's Petrocelli. Tiant, the big leg kick, the pitch on a 3-5. He rolls it over to short, where Simone picks it up, throws him out one away. Here's Foy now. Foy reached on an error in the first. There's a 1-7 righty. Another tweener hit to straightaway center fairly deep. Davalillo backpedaling and puts it away for out number 2. They'll bring up Yaz with the bases empty and 2 down. Tiant into the windup. 4-4 lefty. Shallow pop fly to right. Colavito coming on, and he's there to catch it. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Tiant. 3 innings in the books already. It is 1-0 Red Sox. Once again, happy Saturday to everyone who's filtered in. I remember Victor Cruz, Ernest. Yeah, then you look at Fernando. Fernando looked to the sky. Perhaps for divine intervention. We really don't know. Johnny Cueto had a crazy windup. He always reminded me of Tiant. A lot of moving parts to that Cueto windup. He was fun to watch too. It'll be the heart of the order for Cleveland. Simone to lead it off. Stang gets the sign. Here's the pitch. 5-7 righty. Rolls it over to short. Petrocelli gloves it. Strong throw to first. 1 down. Simone with good speed. Made that closer than it should have been. And with 1 out, here's Colavito. Rocky hit one on the screws his first time up, but right at Foy. Staying into the windup. 1-7 righty. Liner to third again. Single to 6. Same number, in fact. And Foy again makes the grab. 2 down for Whitfield. Staying into the windup. 3-2. High fly ball to deep right. Backing up is Canigliaro on the track. Makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Stang. Well, Stang gave up a leadoff double to Davalillo and has settled down measurably since then. Red Sox lead at 1-0 as they come to bat in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Canigliaro to lead things off. Yeah, Tekulve. There's another one. Do we have any weird windups in today's game, I wonder? I can't think of any offhand. Perhaps you can. Here's Tony C., his home run representing the only run in the ball game so far today. Tiant into the windup. 6-7 righty, and he walks in. Second walk issued by Tiant. Tiant not looking quite as sharp in the early going today. That reminds me of the line, I read this on Facebook. When I was a kid watching The Wizard of Oz, I always wondered how the Scarecrow could talk when he didn't have a brain. And then I got social media. So here's the ice-cold Scott. Runner at first, nobody out. Tiant working out of the stretch. Pitch to Scott on a 4-3 right-handed. Fly to right field X. Tough chance for Rocky. 3-6. He's on his horse. Here's the play. On a 16, he makes a nice catch on a fly ball A. That's so deep, in fact, that Canigliaro able to tag up and take second. I absolutely would vote for Tiant, Kenyon. In fact, he and Pinson have been my top poster boys for Hall of Fame for a long time. I can't believe it took Ron Santo so long to get in. And I know some of you will disagree, but to me it's absolutely silly how exclusive the Hall of Fame is compared to other sports. 1 out for Demeter. Tiant with the pitch. 3-2, base hit into center. That's an open single. Tony rounding third. 13. Davalillo a +1. 14. With 1 out, they're going to hold him. So Boston playing conservatively with 1 out. And they'll have runners at the corners for Smith. Now we'll see how Cleveland wants to play this. Smith, a poor butter. Not much speed at third base either. We'll look for the ground ball A's. 4-6, I see about 11 there. 13. I'm on the fence on this one. I'm going to roll for it. 1-3, it's in. They'll be back looking for the double play. Tiant from the stretch. 1-7, he walks him to load the bases. Third walk by Tiant today. And that's going to send Joe Askew out to the mound. So El Tiante struggling with his control a bit today. Bases loaded, 1 down for Mike Ryan. Ryan singled his first time up. If you could look at the career numbers of Cott, Tommy John, and Tiant, if you took the names off of them, you wouldn't even be able to tell me which was which. But yet Cott is in, John and Tiant are not. Cuellar was a good one. Hall of Fame, I don't know. I haven't looked at that one very much, so I will not offer an opinion on that. Double play depth for Ryan. Tiant in a jam here now. Boston leading 1-0. They have the bases loaded and one down in the bottom of the fourth. Tiant full windup. Pitch to Ryan on a 2-7. He pops him up. Left side. Samoan waving his arms. And you know what? He may just get out of this because the batter is the pitcher's Stang. Here's the pitch to Stang. 5-9, swung on and missed. Strike 3, and Tiant leaves the bases loaded. How about that? So Tiant bearing down, gets out of a bases loaded 1-out jam, and after 4 complete, it's 1-0 Red Sox. Is that so, Bill? Well, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Hang on, I gotta check my waivers. I almost forgot. Just some minor tinkering. This shouldn't be a big deal. Baez, Roberts, Turner, Ward. Okay, so I got the 3 guys I wanted in waivers. Now I can tinker with my team. So that's all I needed to see. And we're back to the game at hand. 5th inning in the pitcher's duel here. Can't believe I'm using pitcher's duel with Lee Stang in the same sentence, but we are. Max Albus, who struck out in the second, will lead it off. Stang gets the sign. Here's the windup on the pitch. 5-7. He rolls it over to short. Petrocelli gloves it and throws him out. Stang is 8 for endurance, which kind of surprises me. I got to look at his numbers again now. 21 starts, 169 innings. Good hits allowed. He walked a few, not a strikeout pitcher. Home runs a little high for the era, but not terrible. Solid 3.3 ERA. Certainly much better against right-handers than left. Yeah, exactly, Bill. John Wise, I sure am. It's about a 5.5-year project. So we've got about 3 years to go, give or take. I haven't really looked at Wood. I know he was certainly great at his peak. Hell, I still remember the day he pitched both. He started both games of a doubleheader. 72, 73, somewhere in there. Anyway, here's Askew with 1 out. He's 0 for 1. Stang with the pitch. 5-9, swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's the 3rd strikeout for Stang. And with 2 down, Larry Brown is the batter. Here's the pitch to Brown on a 1-6. Hard smash to third. Backhanded by Foy. Throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Stang, who has now retired 9 in a row. Thank you, John. Yeah, I sure plan to. Like I said earlier, I hope I live long enough to finish it. You never know. Not a spring chicken. Hell, not even a fall chicken anymore. Wow. I don't understand that, Bill. I really don't. I mean, he's easily one of the top 10 third basemen in history, isn't he? Heck, when I saw him play as a kid, I thought he was the National League version of Brooks Robinson. Not as good with the glove, obviously. I'm not trying to say that. But he was a better hitter. And a damn good fielder in his own right. Top of the order for Boston, bottom of the fifth in a one-run game. Rico Petrocelli to start it off. Glenn Guzzo, I used to buy his newsletter, John. Tiant with the herky-jerky windup. It's a 5-9 righty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That is strikeout number 4 for Tiant. And the batter will be Joe Foy. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. 1-9. That's going to be high and deep to left over Wagner's head for extra bases. Triple to 9. Foy digging for third. The throw, he is in there with a 1-out triple. And for Foy, that's his 5th triple of the season. So Cleveland will bring the infield in for Yastrzemski. Tony Conigliaro on deck. Boston leading 1-0, threatening to add on here in the bottom of the 5th. Tiant a glance at third. Here's a 1-5 righty. That's hit into the gap in left center. That's going to be extra bases. Foy can walk home. Yaz cruising into second with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Boston. Explain, Bill. What he couldn't get? You mean he wanted to get rid of him, or he thought he was invaluable? That's a good point. There'll be more on the sabermetric stats, I suppose. Here's Tony C., who's homered and walked. Tiant just hasn't looked right today as he gets ready to pitch to Tony. 6-8 righty, that's a liner to second. Single to 11, that's going to be knocked down by Brown, but no play. It'll go as an infield single. Yastrzemski stopping at third. And Tiant is in trouble again here in the bottom of the 5th. Runners at the corners, 1 down. And George Scott, the beer batter, coming to the plate. Scott flew to right in the 2nd, flew to right in the 4th. Cleveland will bring the infield in. So I take it, Bill, you're not in favor of Santo in the Hall? Two to nothing Red Sox. Infield in for Scott. From the stretch, 5-8, second base X. That's going to be Brown, a 468. Hold your breath on this one. Oh, my goodness. No, it's not Brown. Excuse me. That's Smith. Yeah, no, it is Brown, a 468 on a 20. He has it with the infield in. It's a ground ball B. He throws home and gets the lead man. (4-2X force). Yastrzemski's out at the plate. So the infield in not only saves a run, but they get the lead man. So Tiant in position now to get out of this cheaply enough. First and second, 2 out, and Don Demeter at the plate. Demeter walked in the 2nd, singled in the 4th. Without reading the book, my guess is we had a personality issue there. Leo had a big personality. Hey, Madden Vids, welcome in. Probably by spin rate. Oh, God, I hope not. I would say Garrett Cole. It's very young in their careers, but their current trajectory, I'd have to say that Skeens and Scooble both, barring injury. Tiant, the pitch to Demeter. It's a 2-5 righty. High fly ball to deep left, backing up his legger at the track, at the wall. It's gone. And Don Demeter busts this game wide open with a 3-run homer. Scoring is Canigliaro and Scott. 3 ribeye steaks for Demeter. On his 3rd home run of the season. That's his first homer since he had that big 2-home run game back in early April. So Tiant's, he's been in trouble all day and now finds himself trailing 5-0. Action in the Cleveland pen. Let's see who the long man's going to be. Give me a moment to sort out the numbers here. In real life, they actually used Gary Bell in this game, he won't start the next game, but he'll start the game after that. And for that reason, I'm not going to use him. Partly that reason. Part of it is he's already over on his usage. So what we want is somebody who needs work, who's can be in a mop-up role here. Tom Kelly. Best choice would be the lefty John O'Donohue. They're going to get him up. And he will be joined by the righty Bob Hefner, a computer-only card. Tiant pitching to Smith. He's on the ropes. 2-7. Fly ball to straightaway center. Davalillo has it, and that's the inning, but not before Boston scores 4 on 4 hits. Nobody left. And through 5 innings of play, they lead it now 5-0. Hey, Richard Watts, welcome. Good to see you. If you're just coming in, it's 5-0 Boston after 5. And Tiant has nothing today. We're going to go ahead and hit for him. Five innings, 2, 3, 7 hits. 5 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Next pitcher in will be O'Donohue. O'Donohue, a lefty, and let's see who's going to pinch hit to lead off the 6th. Against the righty Stang. They prefer a lefty hitter. They really don't have many lefty hitters. They have one exactly, and that's the catcher Duke Sims. So in that case, leading off with nobody out, Dick Hauser grabs a bat. Hauser 214 on the year, 1 homer, 10 RBIs. Stang into the windup. 4-8 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that retires Hauser. 1 away, and here's Davalillo. Stang gets the sign. 6-7 lefty, grounder second base X. That's going to be Smith again, 228. On a 14, he gobbles it up and throws him out. Nice play at second. That'll bring up Leon Wagner, who's 0 for 2. Stang pitching a gem here. Here's the windup on the pitch. It's a 3-10 righty, just outside ball 4. And Wagner with a 2-out base on balls. Stang with a terrible hold. Wagner 19. Leading by 5, they're not going to hold him, but he will try to roll. He'll try to roll that 6. 5, he doesn't get it. And here's the next pitch to Chico Simone. 3-7 righty. Grounder to short, hardly hit. Hard hit ball to short, I should say, not hardly hit. Petrocelli goes the short way to Smith for the force, and that retires the side. So Stang cruising along with a 1-hitter through 6 innings of play. Rabbit Moranville, yeah. I remember reading about him when I was in high school. Here comes a new pitcher for Cleveland, John O'Donohue. 2-5, 6.19 on the year. There's a card that's certainly underperformed. 3.83 in real life. O'Donohue in a long man role here today will face Ryan, Stang, and Petrocelli as we go to the bottom of the 6th. I think Hodges is in. I could be wrong. Ryan 1 for 2. The left-hander lines and deals is a 2-6. Fly ball to straightaway center. Davalillo is there, and there's 1 down. That'll bring up Stang. The left-hander with the pitch, 2-5, swung on and missed, strike 3. It's the hat trick for Stang, but as they say, they don't pay him for his bat. 2 away, here's Petrocelli. O'Donohue with the windup. 4-10 right-handed, catcher's card, that's Askew. Askew's a 4-E5, here's the play. On a 20, it is a foul out to the catcher, and that'll do it. So O'Donohue comes on, pitches a 1-2-3 6th, and after 6 complete, it's all Red Sox today, 5-0. That's true, Bill. Wow, Captain Carl, I did not know that. We move to the 7th. Stang is not allowed to hit since Davalillo led off the game with a double. In fact, before we go to the 7th, I'm going to take a moment and refill my coffee. I tell you what, I'm dragging today. For the third time in less than a week, I was awakened by an early morning text message, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I have just, I've done what I do for the game. I put in a do not disturb from midnight to 8. Much like I have a do not disturb from 1:15 to 3 because of the game. So I don't get those spam calls that cause this feed to be disrupted. Colavito and Whitfield and Elvis here in the 7th. Stang gets the sign from Ryan. Here's the pitch. 5-10 righty, hard smash to third. Foy gloves it, throws him out, and Colavito now has hit it to third all 3 times. 1 away for Whitfield. Stang gets the sign. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-8 lefty. A hard liner right into the glove of Smith at second. Two down, nobody on for Elvis. Stang working quickly now into the windup. Comes in with a fastball, 5-5 righty. Hit high and deep to left center. Demeter and Yaz converging, and that is off the wall for a double. Homer to 7, he rolls the 15. A 2-out double for Max Elvis. That'll bring up the catcher, Joe Askew. Cleveland trying to get on the board here. Top of the 7th. Stang rated 8 for starter endurance, so that's not an issue. He checks the runner at second. Full windup, pitch to Askew. 3-6, grounder down to third. Foy comes in, gloves it, throws across, and that'll do it. Boy, Foy has been busy at third base in this one. 2 liners for putouts, 3 assists. And we're going to go to the stretch with the Red Sox leading 5-0. And we'll take a peek at Mookie. I'm at the bottom of my pot of coffee. Not surprisingly, considering how early I was up. Tried to go back to sleep, but that doesn't work for me anymore. Generally, once I'm up, that's it. I'm screwed. There's Mookie. Hey, Mookie. You want to say hi? Huh? Yeah? Not much action out of Mookie today. There's our cloudy and overcast sky. But fairly warm, so I'm not complaining. He hasn't even touched his reveal. I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to eating, this is the finickiest cat I've ever had. Second inning of work for O'Donohue as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Joe Foy will start things off. Foy tripled his last time up, 1 for 3. Foy gets his sign. Pitch to Foy. O'Donohue gets his sign, rather. 5-6 righty. Pokes it to first. Whitfield will take it himself. 1 away for Carl Yastrzemski. Left on left matchup. Here's the pitch now. 2-7. Fly ball to straightaway center. Davalillo backs up a bit and pulls it in. Here's Tony C. He has not been retired today. Homered in the second, walked in the fourth, singled and scored in the fifth. O'Donohue gets his sign. 3-8 lefty, and he walks him. So Tony C's been on all 4 times in this one. And that'll bring up the beer batter, the ice-cold George Scott. Came into this one 5 for 48 in the last 10 days, and he's 0 for 3 today. O'Donohue out of the stretch. 4-5. He lifts it the other way to right. Colavito drifts over and puts it away. And we're through 7. All Red Sox, 5-0. Let's check the defense for the Red Sox. Could replace Demeter, but he's due to lead off, so I'm going to leave him in for the time being. And we go to the 8th, the first endurance inning for Stang. 2 hits allowed now by Stang, both doubles. Moranville was in vaudeville, huh? Captain Carl, my guess is, and not to take anything away from Moranville, I'm guessing shortstops back in those days had more putouts than in the modern era. Just a guess, I can't prove that. You can't prove that, Rusty. 8th inning, Larry Brown, 1 for 2. 1 for 1. 0 for... God. Get it together, Steve. 0 for 1 with a walk. Stang with a windup down the pitch. It's a 6-8. Pops him up left side. Petrocelli will take it. Now we'll have a pinch hitter for O'Donohue. Two innings for O'Donohue, no hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 1. And at this point, we might as well use our only left-handed hitter, that's Duke Sims. Sims, 273 home runs. 1 down, Stang into the windup. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-4 righty. Grounder down to first, fielded by Scott. He underhands to Stang. And Sims is retired. 2 down for Davalillo. Stang into the windup. Here it is. 1-4, fly ball to right. Backing up is Tony Conigliaro. And it's yet another 1-2-3 inning for Lee Stang. His 4th such inning out of 8 in this game. New pitcher for Cleveland as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And they don't want to waste anybody in a game like this, so they're going to go to the computer-only Bob Hefner. I'm not trying to be super exact with the usage, but I don't want to get crazy with it either. Hefner's worked 6 innings, 0-1, 4.5 ERA. and Demeter. Wow, Demeter's also been on all 3 times. Walked in the 2nd, singled in the 4th. His 3-run homer, his last at bat in the 5th, put the game away. Hefner ready to go to work. Wind up on the pitch. 3-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. Here's Smith now. 0 for 2 with a walk. Hefner with the windup and the pitch. 2-7. Fly to straightaway center. That's going to be Davalillo. And there's 2 away. And here's the catcher, Mike Ryan. Ryan 1 for 3. Hefner with the pitch. 6-8 right-handed. Pop out left side. Simone will take it. And Hefner with a 1-2-3 inning. Well, the Cleveland bullpen in relief of Tiana has done a good job. But the Indians can't muster anything against Lee Stang. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. No game tomorrow. I've got other engagements. I'll be back with you on Monday. So I want to thank everybody again for all the support. This channel continues to go because of you guys. If there was no interest, well, it would be hard for me to get any interest. I'd probably still play anyway, but it wouldn't be nearly as much fun. From boomer to bummer. Stang finds himself 3 outs from a complete game shutout as we go to the 9th. Leon Wagner will start it off. Stang gets the sign from Ryan. There's the windup. The pitch to Wagner. 4-6 lefty. Grounder down to first. Scott has it. Throws to Stang, covering. That's 1. Here's the shortstop, Chico Simone. Stang gets the sign. Here's the windup. Breaking ball. 1-11. Pops him up left side. Foy has it. And just like that, the Indians are down to their last out. It will be Rocky Colavito. Stang sensing the moment, taking his time now, takes a deep breath, gets the sign, the windup, the pitch to Rocky. 1-7. Liner to third, single to 6. He is out. He rolled that 3 times this game. 1-2-3, Stang does it. How about that? What a game by Lee Stang, a complete game shutout. Boston 5, Cleveland nothing, and the Red Sox take 3 of 4 from the 3rd place Indians. Stang with a 2-hit shutout. Well, with honorable mention to Demeter, player of the game has to be Lee Stang. Walked only 2. Four strikeouts. Hefner with a 1-2-3 inning with a K. Tiant takes the loss. He drops to 6-3 on the season. So the Red Sox, with 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors, win it. Indians, no runs, just 2 hits and an error. What a game by Stang. And judging by his innings pitch total and the 21 starts, it would appear that Stang is in the rotation for good now. On Monday, I'll be back with the Giants at the Cubs. We'll wind up that series. It'll be Ray Sadecki and Dick Ellsworth, two left-handers. In the meantime, I'm going to go out of here and get some lunch. I see a nap in my immediate future today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I was a bit off today. I'm really tired today, so I apologize for that. I'll try to be back to top form on Monday. So thanks for watching again. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And hopefully see you all again on Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.